The Australian Army is the principal land warfare force of Australia, a part of the Australian Defence Force (ADF) along with the Royal Australian Navy and Royal Australian Air Force. The Army is commanded by the Chief of Army (CA), who is subordinate to the Chief of the Defence Force (CDF), who commands the ADF. The CA is also direct responsible to the Minister of Defence, with the Department of Defence administrating the ADF and the Army. Formed in 1901 as the Commonwealth Military Forces through the amalgamation of the colonial forces of Australia following the Federation of Australia. Although Australian soldiers have been involved in a number of minor and major conflicts throughout Australia's history, only during the Second World War has Australian territory come under direct attack. The Australian Army was initiated composed almost completely of part-time soldiers, where the vast majority were in units of the Citizen Military Forces (CMF) or Militia 1901 to 1980 during peacetime, with limits set on the regular army. Since all reservists were barred from forcibly serving overseas, Volunteers Expeditionary Forces, 1st AIF, ANMEF, 2nd AIF were formed to enable the army to send large number of soldiers to serve overseas during period of war. This period lasted from Federation Unit Post 1947, when a standing peacetime regular army was formed, as the Australian Army Reserve 1980 to present began to decline in importance. Hi friends, I am Rajab and you are watching Alzarat Free on 3 YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about Australian Army. Please like the video and subscribe the channel for more informative videos. During its history, the Australian Army has fought in a number of major wars, including the Second Boer War, the First and Second World Wars, Korean War, Malayan Emergency, Indonesia-Malaysia Confrontation, Vietnam War, and more recent in Afghanistan and Iraq. Since 1947, the Australian Army has also been involved in many peacekeeping operations, usually under the auspices of the United Nations. Today, it participated in multilateral and unilateral military exercises and provide emergency disaster relief and humanitarian aid in response to domestic and international crises. Following the invasion of Kuwait by Iraq in August 1990s, a coalition of countries sponsored by the United Nations Security Council, of which Australia was a part, gave a deadline for Iraq to withdraw from Kuwait after 15 January 1991. Iraq refused to retreat, and thus full conflict and the Gulf War began 2 days later on 17 January 1991. In January 1993, the Australian Army deployed 26 personnel on an ongoing rotational basis to the multinational force and observers as part of the non-United Nations peacekeeping organization that observes and enforces the peace treaty between Israel and Egypt. Australia's largest peacekeeping deployment began in 1999 with the International Force of the East Timor, while other ongoing operations include peacekeeping in the Sinai as part of MFO and the United Nations Truce Supervision Organization as part of Operation Paladin since 1956. Humanitarian relief after the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake in Aceh Province, Indonesia. Operation Sumatra Assist ended on 24 March 2005. Following the 11 September 2001 terrorist attacks, Australia promised troops to any military operations that the US commenced in response to the attacks. Subsequently, the Australian Army committed combat troops to Afghanistan in Operation Slipper. This combat role continued until the end of 2013, when it was replaced by a training contingent operating under Operation High Road until 2021. Please like the video and subscribe the channel for more informative videos. Thanks for watching.